1. Introduction: The paradox of loneliness in a connected world. In today's hyper-connected world, where we can instantly reach out to anyone across the globe, loneliness feels like a paradox. We live in an age where sharing every thought, moment, and experience is as easy as clicking a button. Yet with all this connectivity, many of us find ourselves feeling more isolated than ever. How is it possible to feel so alone in a crowd or amidst constant digital chatter? This seeming contradiction begs an important question. In an era designed to bring us closer, why do we often feel distant from others and even ourselves? The deeper we dive into this, the clearer it becomes that the answer lies not in the technology we use, but in the way we engage with it, and the way we engage with life itself. The ancient philosophy of Stoicism, with its emphasis on inner tranquility and self-sufficiency, may offer surprising wisdom in navigating this modern dilemma. By focusing on what is truly within our control, Stoicism teaches us how to cultivate meaningful connections with ourselves and others, regardless of the external noise. In a world that promises connection, but often delivers only surface-level interaction, perhaps it's time to look inward and reclaim a sense of peace that doesn't rely on the digital world. 2. The paradox of modern life. Connections versus isolation. The tension between digital connections and emotional isolation is one of the most striking contradictions of modern life. We have access to endless streams of information, social networks that promise to keep us in touch with friends and family, and the ability to communicate across continents within seconds. Yet, the more we engage in these digital spaces, the more disconnected we can feel from those around us. Social media, in particular, has created a culture where the quantity of interactions often overshadows their quality. We scroll through posts, exchanging likes and comments, but how many of these interactions truly leave us feeling understood or seen? The fast-paced nature of life only amplifies this sense of disconnection. We rush from one task to the next, often with little time to nurture the relationships that could offer the emotional depth we crave. Amidst all this noise, we forget how to be present, both with others and with ourselves. Here, Stoicism offers a valuable lens through which to view the situation. The Stoic teachings emphasize control over one's own reactions and responses, suggesting that true fulfillment comes from within. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our actions, and our internal state, we can avoid getting swept away by the distractions and frustrations of the modern world. Rather than seeking validation from endless online interactions, Stoics advocate for cultivating inner peace and building deeper, more meaningful connections based on mutual respect and understanding. In this way, the Stoic path offers a way out of the paradox, a solution to feeling alone despite being surrounded by a multitude of digital connections. It is not about rejecting technology or the connections it enables, but rather about finding balance and ensuring that our emotional well-being does not depend on external forces that are beyond our control. 3. Stoicism. Ancient wisdom for modern loneliness. Stoicism, an ancient Greek philosophy, offers timeless guidance for addressing the modern struggles of loneliness and disconnection. Born in Athens around 300 BCE, Stoicism was founded by Zeno of Citium, and its influence has endured for centuries, guiding thinkers and leaders, from emperors to everyday individuals. Its core teachings focus on cultivating personal virtue, controlling one's emotions, and understanding the nature of external events. In a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming, Stoicism provides a roadmap to inner peace and emotional resilience. Key Stoic figures, such as Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, have left behind a treasure trove of wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor, wrote Meditations, a series of personal reflections on how to live virtuously amidst the pressures of power and public life. His words resonate even today, offering insights into the importance of maintaining a calm and focused mind despite external chaos. Epictetus, a former slave turned philosopher, taught that we cannot control external events, but we can control how we respond to them. His teachings emphasize the power of internal freedom, the ability to maintain peace and purpose even when life feels unpredictable. Seneca, a statesman and writer, focused on the brevity of life, urging us to use our time wisely and cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections with ourselves and others. In today's world, where loneliness is an epidemic despite constant connectivity, Stoic philosophy offers a remedy. It teaches us that our well-being does not depend on external factors like social media validation or crowded spaces, but on how we relate to ourselves and others. By accepting the limits of what we can control and finding peace within, Stoicism offers a potent antidote to the pervasive sense of isolation in modern life. The philosophy encourages us to focus on personal growth, prioritize relationships built on mutual understanding, and ultimately discover fulfillment through inner strength rather than external approval. 4. Embracing movement. The Stoic approach to physical and emotional harmony. For Stoics, movement is not simply a means of exercise. It is an integral part of the pursuit of emotional and physical balance. Ancient Stoic philosophers believed that a harmonious connection between mind and body was essential for achieving tranquility. This idea remains highly relevant in the modern context, where many individuals feel disconnected, not just emotionally, but also physically, from themselves, due to sedentary lifestyles, constant screen time, and overstimulation. The Stoic view of the body was rooted in the belief that it is not to be neglected or treated as a mere vessel, but rather as a tool for living virtuously. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, often referred to the body as an instrument that should be respected and maintained, not overindulged or neglected. Epictetus echoed this sentiment, noting that a healthy body can support a calm and focused mind, and neglecting physical health can impair one's ability to respond rationally to the challenges of life. Incorporating movement into daily life is a Stoic practice that goes beyond fitness or aesthetics. Movement is seen as an opportunity to reconnect with oneself, creating space for reflection, mindfulness, and emotional grounding. Whether it's a walk in nature, practicing yoga, or simply stretching after a long day, movement fosters a sense of presence and helps manage the mental clutter that often accompanies modern life. The act of moving the body can be a grounding experience, helping to release tension and connect the mind with the present moment. For those seeking practical ways to integrate movement into their lives, Stoic principles suggest focusing on consistency rather than intensity. The goal is not to achieve a specific physical feat, but to create habits that contribute to overall well-being. Small acts of movement, taking the stairs instead of the elevator, going for a brisk walk during lunch breaks, or engaging in simple stretching exercises, can add up to significant improvements in both physical and emotional health. Moreover, these moments of physical engagement serve as reminders to embrace the present and reconnect with one's sense of purpose. By fostering a daily routine of movement, that individuals can find balance not just in their bodies, but in their thoughts and emotions as well. In a world that often feels disconnected and overwhelming, Stoic philosophy encourages us to embrace movement as a practice of mindfulness, grounding, and ultimately inner peace. The power of self-compassion, being your own cheerleader. In the modern world, where comparisons are constant and expectations are high, self-compassion often takes a back seat. We are quick to be kind to others, but when it comes to ourselves, the inner critic often dominates. This is where Stoicism offers a transformative approach. The practice of self-compassion, not as indulgence or self-pity, but as a means of strengthening our resolve and cultivating inner peace. From a Stoic perspective, self-compassion is about acknowledging our humanity, recognizing our imperfections, and supporting ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we would offer to a close friend in need. The Stoics were not immune to struggle or self-doubt. In fact, many of their teachings were born out of personal adversity. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor, frequently reminded himself in his meditations that he was just another human being, subject to the same frustrations, setbacks, and imperfections as anyone else. Rather than berating himself for his shortcomings, he extended compassion towards himself, choosing to focus on the lessons each challenge offered, rather than on failure itself. Similarly, Epictetus, who endured the hardships of slavery, counseled his followers to view their difficulties as opportunities for growth, encouraging them to treat themselves with patience and understanding. Self-compassion, in the Stoic sense, involves a balanced acknowledgement of one's flaws without judgment or condemnation. It is not about excusing mistakes or avoiding responsibility, but about adopting an attitude of patience and kindness toward oneself, especially when facing obstacles. By recognizing that all humans are imperfect, we can practice the Stoic idea of amor fati, the love of fate, accepting both our successes and our failures as part of the greater journey of personal growth. Being your own cheerleader is not a concept rooted in empty self-affirmations or wishful thinking. Instead, it is a deliberate act of self-support where we celebrate our progress, no matter how small, and reinforce the belief that we are worthy of happiness, peace, and achievement. Combating loneliness and self-doubt requires a mindset shift, one where we no longer see ourselves as failures or unworthy of connection, but as capable individuals who are constantly evolving. Stoicism teaches us that we have the power to choose how we view ourselves, and by practicing self-compassion, we can shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance and growth. Recognizing our value is a powerful antidote to the self-doubt that often arises in moments of isolation. By celebrating our small wins, whether it's getting out of bed on a particularly hard day, completing a task we've been avoiding, or showing kindness to ourselves, we reinforce the belief that we are making progress, even in the smallest ways. These small victories build momentum, helping us to recognize that growth is not linear, but a series of incremental steps that eventually lead to transformation. Real-life applications of self-compassion are vital for overcoming inner struggles. When feeling overwhelmed or alone, instead of succumbing to the harsh voice of self-criticism, we can choose to respond with kindness. For example, when dealing with failure or disappointment, a Stoic approach would involve pausing, taking a deep breath, and reminding ourselves that it's okay to struggle. This is part of the human experience. Rather than falling into despair, we can practice self-compassion by acknowledging the setback, learning from it, and continuing forward with a renewed sense of purpose. When struggling with loneliness, we can apply self-compassion by reminding ourselves that it's okay to feel disconnected. We can treat ourselves with care during these times, perhaps through journaling, meditation, or simple activities that bring joy. Instead of fighting the loneliness or feeling shame about it, Stoicism teaches us to accept it as a temporary state that we can navigate with grace. This acknowledgement, paired with self-compassion, transforms loneliness from an enemy into an opportunity for introspection and growth. Another practical application comes in the form of daily affirmations, not in the sense of blind positivity, but grounded in the Stoic understanding of personal responsibility. By affirming our worth and recognizing that we are doing the best we can with the circumstances at hand, we empower ourselves to keep moving forward. In times of difficulty, we can remind ourselves that our struggles are not indications of failure, but natural parts of the process of becoming the best versions of ourselves. Ultimately, self-compassion from a Stoic perspective is a deep form of self-respect. It allows us to embrace both our strengths and weaknesses, encouraging us to face life with a balanced heart and mind. By practicing self-compassion, we not only combat feelings of loneliness and self-doubt, but we also take control of our emotional well-being, developing a mindset that supports continuous growth and resilience in the face of life's challenges. We become our own cheerleaders, lifting ourselves up with kindness, patience, and understanding, knowing that our journey, no matter how imperfect, is one worth celebrating. 6. Stoicism and the pursuit of happiness in the journey, not the destination. In our fast-paced world, we often define happiness by what we have yet to achieve. Whether it's a career milestone, a personal goal, or a social aspiration, we set our sights on future accomplishments, believing that once we attain them, we'll finally feel content. However, the Stoic philosophy challenges this approach by urging us to find joy in the process of life itself, not just in the end result. According to Stoicism, true fulfillment does not lie in the destination, but in the journey we take to get there. The Stoics, particularly figures like Epictetus and Seneca, emphasize that the path we walk, the small everyday actions and choices, are what shape our character and determine our happiness. Epictetus taught that while we can't control the external circumstances or outcomes of our efforts, we have complete control over our attitude and approach to the journey. Instead of waiting for an ideal moment or future success to bring us happiness, Stoics advocate for focusing on the present and finding joy in every step along the way. This mindset shift from future happiness to present mindfulness is central to Stoic teachings. Happiness, according to Stoicism, is not a distant goal that can only be attained after a series of achievements. Instead, it's found in our daily thoughts, our responses to challenges, and our ability to live virtuously in the moment. By embracing the present, we can savor the richness of life as it unfolds, rather than postponing joy until some elusive tomorrow arrives. Practicing mindfulness in the journey, as the Stoics suggest, means embracing the small, often overlooked moments that contribute to personal growth. Every step taken toward a goal, no matter how small, carries with it the opportunity for self-improvement and contentment. The act of focusing on the process encourages us to celebrate each accomplishment along the way. Whether it's learning something new, overcoming a minor obstacle, or simply maintaining a sense of calm despite setbacks. By acknowledging these moments, we cultivate a deeper sense of satisfaction that comes from knowing we are engaged in the process of becoming better, rather than fixating on some distant point of achievement. In this way, the Stoic pursuit of happiness isn't about reaching a final destination, but about enjoying the road we travel. We can practice this philosophy in our own lives by setting our sights on progress rather than perfection, learning to appreciate the inherent value of our efforts. When we do this, the journey becomes the destination itself, rich with meaning, purpose, and contentment. 7. Gaining perspective. The Stoic view from above. One of the most powerful Stoic practices for cultivating perspective and reducing stress is the exercise known as viewing from above. This simple yet profound technique involves mentally stepping back from our immediate circumstances and taking a broader, more detached view of our lives. By looking at the situation from a higher vantage point, we can gain clarity, reduce anxiety, and recognize that many of the things we worry about are small in the grand scheme of life. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often referred to this practice, reminding himself that his struggles were not unique or insurmountable. From a bird's eye view, his personal challenges, though important, were just a tiny part of the vast and interconnected world. Viewing life from this broader perspective helps us see our problems as transient and often insignificant in the larger context of time and existence. It is an antidote to the self-centered and narrow lens through which we often experience our daily challenges. When we zoom out and take in the bigger picture, we begin to realize that our struggles, whether they involve career setbacks, interpersonal conflicts, or personal doubts, are part of the ebb and flow of life. These moments are temporary, and when viewed in the broader scope of our lifetime, or even humanity's collective journey, they lose much of their power to overwhelm us. This realization fosters a sense of calm and acceptance as we recognize that our lives are but one thread in a vast and complex tapestry. Moreover, the practice of viewing from above helps us acknowledge the interconnectedness of all things. The Stoics believed that everything in life is part of a greater, harmonious system, and by gaining perspective on our place within this system, we are less likely to become consumed by our individual struggles. We are reminded that others too face challenges, and that the world's complexity is far beyond our personal worries. This sense of shared humanity and interconnectedness can alleviate feelings of isolation, reminding us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves. In practical terms, applying this Stoic practice in daily life involves pausing when we feel overwhelmed or stressed and taking a mental step back. Imagine looking down on your life as if you were a bird flying high above it. How do your problems appear from that vantage point? Are they as insurmountable as they seem when viewed up close? Are they temporary? Is the fear or stress you're feeling truly as significant as you believe? This perspective can be liberating, offering a sense of relief and clarity. The Stoic view from above can also serve as a powerful tool for reducing loneliness. When we feel isolated or disconnected, we can remind ourselves that we are part of a much larger world, full of people experiencing their own challenges. By zooming out, we remember that our problems are not isolated. They are shared by others, and in recognizing that, we create space for empathy, compassion, and connection. Ultimately, the practice of viewing from above offers us a powerful tool to navigate life's difficulties with greater ease and perspective. By learning to step back and see the bigger picture, we cultivate a sense of calm and understanding, reducing stress and feelings of isolation. It is a reminder that while our individual struggles matter, they are part of a much larger and interconnected whole. where each step we take, no matter how small, contributes to the greater flow of life. 8. The role of community. Stoicism on collective support and connection. Stoicism, while often associated with individual strength and self-sufficiency, also places significant value on community and mutual support. The Stoic philosophy teaches that humans are social creatures by nature, and that our well-being is deeply intertwined with the well-being of others. In fact, the Stoic belief in living according to nature includes understanding that part of our nature is to engage in meaningful relationships and support one another. The importance of community is underscored by the Stoic notion of cosmopolitanism, the idea that we are all citizens of the world, part of a greater, interconnected whole. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus frequently wrote about the importance of contributing to the common good and finding strength in collective support. They saw the bonds between people not as mere social constructs, but as essential to living a virtuous and fulfilling life. Our responsibilities to others, whether family, friends, or society, are not just obligations, but opportunities to grow in empathy, kindness, and shared purpose. One of the most powerful ways to combat loneliness, according to Stoic philosophy, is through shared experience and vulnerability. Many of us carry our burdens in isolation, believing that we must navigate life's challenges alone. However, Stoicism teaches that opening up to others and sharing our struggles can lighten our emotional load and build stronger, more meaningful relationships. This communal exchange of vulnerability is a way of affirming our shared humanity and mutual understanding. Just as we can learn from each other's strengths, we can also find solace in knowing that we are not alone in our difficulties. In today's world, where isolation and disconnection are increasingly common, there are many ways to build or strengthen community bonds. Stoicism encourages us to seek out environments that foster meaningful connections, whether that means joining groups that align with our values, participating in community events, or simply being present for the people in our lives. Practically speaking, community building can take many forms: volunteering, organizing gatherings with friends or neighbors, or even online forums focused on shared interests. The key is to invest in relationships that support mutual growth and understanding. The Stoic idea of asking for help is also vital in building and maintaining a strong community. Many people struggle with the idea of seeking assistance, often due to pride or fear of vulnerability. However, the Stoics believe that recognizing our need for others is not a sign of weakness, but of wisdom. By reaching out for support in times of struggle, we not only allow ourselves to heal, but also offer others the opportunity to demonstrate their own virtues. Similarly, offering help to others when they are in need creates a virtuous cycle of support and connection, reinforcing the bonds that strengthen communities. In modern life, it can be easy to overlook the power of community in favor of individual achievement. But Stoicism reminds us that true fulfillment comes not from solitary success, but from a life lived in connection with others. Whether we are struggling with loneliness, stress, or personal challenges, the support of a community, rooted in mutual care, understanding, and vulnerability, can provide the strength we need to persevere and grow. 9. Focus on your path, staying true to your values amidst distractions. In the digital age, distractions are everywhere. We are bombarded with notifications, endless streams of information, and competing demands on our time and attention. These distractions can easily derail us from our personal path, causing us to lose sight of our core values and long-term goals. The Stoic philosophy offers valuable guidance on how to stay focused amidst these constant disruptions, ensuring that we remain true to ourselves and our purpose. The first step in staying focused, according to Stoicism, is to clearly define our values and goals. Stoic thinkers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius frequently wrote about the importance of aligning our actions with our deepest principles. By knowing what truly matters to us, whether it's personal growth, relationships, or contributing to the greater good, we create a foundation that helps us stay grounded, even in the face of external pressures. The Stoics believe that external circumstances are beyond our control, but we always have control over our internal responses. Our values act as an anchor, preventing us from drifting off course in response to the distractions around us. Modern life, with its constant connectivity and fast-paced nature, is particularly prone to pulling us away from our core values. Social media, for example, often tempts us to measure our worth by the approval of others or by fleeting, superficial markers of success. The result is a constant cycle of comparison, distraction, and dissatisfaction. Stoicism offers a counterpoint to this by encouraging us to focus inward rather than looking outward for validation or direction. By defining our personal values and making decisions based on them, we cultivate a sense of purpose that transcends the noise of the world. One key Stoic practice to maintain focus is the idea of creating boundaries. This involves recognizing when external distractions or influences are encroaching on our time, energy, or mental clarity, and actively taking steps to protect ourselves from them. For example, setting aside specific times for work, reflection, or relaxation without interruption can help create a sense of control over our environment. Similarly, limiting exposure to social media or disengaging from activities that conflict with our values can help us stay aligned with our true goals. The Stoic practice of saying no is as important as saying yes. It is about maintaining boundaries that protect our time and energy for what truly matters. Another essential Stoic principle is the practice of prioritizing. Life is full of competing demands, and it's easy to become overwhelmed by the sheer volume of tasks and responsibilities. Stoics advocate for focusing on what is most important and letting go of what is less significant. This means being intentional about how we spend our time and energy, choosing to engage in activities that align with our values and contribute to our growth, rather than succumbing to distractions that pull us off course. In practice, staying true to our path amidst distractions requires continuous self-awareness and mindfulness. It involves regularly checking in with ourselves to ensure that our actions are aligned with our values. This might mean taking time at the beginning or end of each day to reflect on what we've accomplished and whether it aligns with our long-term goals. It might also involve regular digital detoxes or setting specific time blocks for focused work, free from interruptions. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to staying focused on your path is about cultivating discipline, clarity, and purpose. By prioritizing what truly matters, setting boundaries, and regularly realigning with our values, we can navigate the distractions of modern life with confidence and direction. The path to fulfillment is not always easy, but by staying true to our principles, we can find meaning and satisfaction in every step we take. 10. Embracing impermanence. The beauty of living in the moment. One of the central teachings of Stoicism is the acceptance of impermanence, the understanding that all things, including life itself, are transient. The Stoics believe that by acknowledging the fleeting nature of life, we are empowered to live more authentically and purposefully. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, constantly reminded himself of the impermanence of both human life and the world around him. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This awareness of the impermanence of life serves not as a source of despair, but as a call to action, a prompt to live in a way that is meaningful and aligned with our values. When we truly internalize the fact that life is finite, we are less likely to squander time on trivial pursuits or distractions. Instead, we are encouraged to make the most of the present moment, focusing on what truly matters. The Stoics teach that life's impermanence is not something to fear, but something to embrace, for it gives us the urgency to act in ways that align with our principles, our relationships, and our personal growth. By reflecting on the brevity of our time, we are inspired to be more intentional about how we spend it, making conscious decisions that bring us closer to living authentically. Gratitude plays a crucial role in appreciating the present moment. While it's easy to become preoccupied with what we don't have or what we wish to achieve, the Stoics encourage us to cultivate gratitude for what we already have in the present, in the same way that Marcus Aurelius found solace in reflecting on the simplicity and fleeting nature of life. We can practice gratitude as a daily exercise, reminding ourselves of the beauty and gifts of the current moment. This practice shifts our focus away from future desires and brings us into the here and now, helping us appreciate the fullness of life as it unfolds. Understanding the impermanence of life also has the power to reduce anxiety. Often, anxiety rises from the fear of loss or the uncertainty of the future. When we accept that change and loss are natural parts of existence, we can begin to release the fear that accompanies these experiences. The Stoics understood that by embracing impermanence, we can free ourselves from the anxiety of clinging to things that are beyond our control. Instead of fearing the unknown, we can focus on living fully in the present, using the awareness of life's fleeting nature as motivation to take purposeful action. The acceptance of impermanence encourages us to act now, to stop postponing our dreams or desires. It reminds us that there is no better time than the present to start living authentically. Every moment, every choice is an opportunity to align our actions with our deepest values and goals. Whether it's reaching out to a loved one, pursuing a personal passion, or letting go of unhelpful attachments. The awareness of life's impermanence can help us prioritize what truly matters and inspire us to live fully in each moment. 11th conclusion: applying Stoicism for a meaningful life. Throughout this exploration of Stoic philosophy, we've delved into key principles that offer practical tools for navigating the complexities of modern life. From embracing the value of self-compassion and community, to learning how to manage distractions and stay focused on our personal path, Stoicism provides a roadmap for overcoming loneliness, building resilience, and finding deeper connection with others. Central to Stoic thought is the understanding that while we cannot control external events, we have the power to shape our internal responses, cultivating peace, virtue, and fulfillment from within. Stoicism teaches us that happiness is not found in external circumstances or future achievements, but in living with purpose, mindfulness, and gratitude in the present moment. It encourages us to embrace impermanence, recognizing that life is fleeting and therefore precious. This awareness helps us focus on what truly matters, fostering meaningful relationships, personal growth, and a sense of fulfillment. In a world where loneliness and disconnection are all too common, Stoic principles remind us that we are all part of a shared human experience, and that by acting in accordance with our values, we can build resilience and find true connection. In today's fast-paced, constantly connected world, Stoic teachings are as relevant as ever. By applying these ancient practices, we can navigate the noise and distractions of modern life with clarity and purpose. Stoicism offers a path not just to surviving, but to thriving, a way of living that encourages us to find peace, gratitude, and meaning in each moment. Through reflection, discipline, and connection, Stoicism provides the tools to cultivate a life of balance and fulfillment, helping us to face challenges with grace and live authentically in a world that often pulls us in countless directions.